We're Daniel and Adam Jack, two cousins with a shared passion for adventure, quirky stays and the environment. After staying the night in some weird and wonderful places around the world, we've set out to bring our alternative eco-cabin concept home to Scotland's west coast. Alright everyone, welcome to the second instalment of our Eco Cabin build journey series. Over the next 12 minutes we'll be jumping right into the build process of our prototype cabin. We left off episode 1 with a sneak peek of the chassis being offloaded at the warehouse. By the way, if you've not seen episode 1, be sure to check it out to learn more about the concept, our story and the journey so far by clicking somewhere up there.
But in this episode, we'll be taking cabin 1 from a bare steel frame to a structurally complete unit that actually starts to resemble the final product. So without any further ado, let's jump back in time to April where we drop in at the warehouse to catch this chassis arriving. Super early on a Tuesday morning, we find ourselves in sunny Stevenson in North Ayrshire, which isn't very sunny at all. So we're heading to a business park here where our first cabin will be getting built, which is really exciting times. And the chassis is due to arrive at some point between mid to late morning, so we're pretty much going to be staking out here for a few hours, hopefully not any longer than that, but got the laptop and do a wee bit of work while we're waiting. Sound good?
Superb.
And we've missed it.
So there it is, there's the puppy. Looking good. Superb, how are they going to get that off, man?
Typical us, isn't it? Missed the boat. We better go and say hi.
Yeah, let's go.
So Adam, how did it feel driving on 3 wheels up here today? That is officially the chassis landed. How exciting.
That's not very exciting, not very, it's a steel frame, but it does mark a milestone.
Any other chassis enthusiasts out there, hit us up. So that was it, a flying visit. We got a grand tour of the warehouse, met some of the boys that are going to be working on the cabin build. One of the boys is 80 odd year old, he's retired about 10 times and in his words he's got sawdust in his blood, so...
We're in safe hands.
Yeah, we're in safe hands indeed.
For me it was good to, get down to the workshop to actually see, the different machinery and materials. Obviously we'd spoke to a couple of the builders before, but it was just in the classic Zoom call setting, so to actually get down there and see where these things are going to be built, see the processes that go into it, and just to see the whole materials and everything, it's class. Obviously we'll be visiting there a lot more over the coming months just as things come together, but everyone down there seems really sound. And as you say, it seems like we're in safe hands, so can't wait to just watch it all come together now.
So yeah, that's it started. No turning back now. We'll be going up every week or so to check on progress and keep you guys all updated on that front. So yeah, excited to see where the journey takes us, and we'll be sharing every step of the way with you.
If you can remember back to June, this was when the vaccine programme was charging on, and restrictions were finally loosening for a second and hopefully last time. Until that point, day-to-day working very much consisted of back-to-back Zoom calls for us both, and I'm sure it was the same for you too. But as soon as Big Nicola let us back into the office, we were right in there. A lot of our time at this stage was dedicated to preparing our application for planning permission. There is so much that goes into it, from cabin drawings, site drawings and photography, to supporting statements, market research documents, and going back and forth with the planning authority pre-application. When we first set out to start this tourist accommodation business, we didn't even know if we needed planning permission or not. It was such a foreign concept to us. Turns out we certainly did need it, and it actually turned out to be such a huge hurdle to get over. And at this point, it took up a bulk of our time. The rest of our time was spent on things like developing the 5 unique cabin theme concepts. Obviously you all know about the Hive, but we cannot wait to share the rest with you when the time comes. Anyway, A few weeks later, we dropped back into the warehouse to catch the next stage of the build, so let's jump back in time again and see what happened.
So we're back down at the workshop in Stevenson. Obviously last time we left off, the cabin was literally just a steel frame. To be honest with you, a lot of the time spent since after that has been on sort of technical designs and sort of ordering in materials and everything, but the build has officially started. We're down at the foundations and we've started to get some sort of wood structure in, and after that it's going to be insulation and sort of floor panels. But here you go, the big reveal. How's the cabin looking? Quite a big structure when you see it, isn't it?
I don't think you quite appreciate it when it's sitting there just a single chassis, but as soon as you widen it out with these, it's pretty massive. So I guess like early stage floor plan, you're talking bathroom is going to be in this area here up to about this joist. Then you're talking a big central living area with like your permanent double bed, your kitchen area, and further down your dining area. And at the end, this is where your wall mural is going to be, with your sort of bed settee wall bed area. Front door will be pretty central here, and then the window will be in the wall there. So you can almost envisage it already.
So as we were standing over there, basically just catching up with Robert, who's heading up the sort of build process. A truck showed up with the floor panels, but some of them were like scratched and scuffed, so Robert just decided when on an inspection that he was like that, send them away. So says you need to get the foundations right or the rest of the cabins won't quite sit right, so only quality in the Jack Salt Stays cabins. So as Johnson fired in the final nails into the floor joists, we headed back into the warehouse to make some final design decisions on things like the floor plan, plug and socket placements, and the internal and external cladding materials. But due to the pandemic, the construction industry was, and to be honest still is, facing ridiculous material availability issues and also price hikes, particularly with the timbers, which really wasn't the best timing for us. So we had to make a couple of compromises, but that's life, I suppose. So, as Daniel's just getting into the car, I thought I'd just do a wee debrief and talk about the sort of next steps. So, basically, it's going to be getting the sides and obviously the roof up. We're hoping to get them done in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, and then by about sort of 4 to 6 weeks, we're hoping to get the cabin to the point that it's completely watertight. And then after that, sort of nothing stopping us, should come together quite quickly. So, really looking forward to watching how it progresses.
Good morning, how are we doing? So it is Tuesday morning. What's the date today? The 29th? 29th of June. It's a beautiful morning. We are setting ourselves up for a pretty busy day today. Later on we're going to be running a trial for these cycle tours that we're setting up over in Cumbrae. But this morning we're actually on our way to the warehouse to check up on progress on cabin 1's build. So we're pretty excited about that, but it's going to be a long one today. We're expecting 20 degrees, so I've got the Factor 30 packed alongside the Midgie spray because we're in Scotland and you know what it's like.
So yeah, looking forward to it. I think it should be a busy one down at the workshop today. I think we've had an online relationship with the architect so far, so it's just been Zoom calls and everything, so it's good to be meeting them in person. And then I think there's a couple of the people heading up the build, as well as potentially a couple of structural engineers and everything, so it should be a good one for catching up with everyone, and I'm excited to see how things have been progressing.
It's funny, like we've been working with them for pretty much a year now, and feel like we know them so well, but we haven't actually physically met up with them face to face, so this will be a good one today. So we're just pulling into the industrial estate now. We're not entirely sure what state the cabin's going to be in. Last time, just as a reminder, it was pretty much the chassis with the floor joists attached to it, and then there was all sorts of talk of building up the walls and the roof structure.
There's something over there anyway.
I know, I'm just spotting that now.
Actually, I have no idea what it is.
I don't even know if that's ours, is it?
I don't know.
Wait till I show you guys. Yeah, what's that? I mean, there's something happening.
Yeah, so it looks like two of the walls on the right have went up then.
Yeah.
And you can see all the other ones sort of over there on the wall at the back. That's so class. Exciting stuff. To bring our concept to life, we teamed up with local architects Stewart Associates and local builders System 5, and it's their warehouse that you're looking at on screen at the moment. They have a real focus on sustainable build processes, which is why we chose to work with them on building the cabin. The best thing about keeping everything local is being involved in the process every step of the way. We're lucky enough to live a short drive away from the workshop, so we're always down to see how things are progressing. Daniel and I are by no means architects or builders, but it has been really great having such a huge input into the cabin designs. It's been really exciting watching our early notebook sketches progressing through the architect's drawings and now finally being brought to life. As you'll see, the side panels and roof cassettes were all prefabricated, and when it came to getting them in place, it was almost a modular fashion, and they went up pretty quickly, literally in a couple of hours. As you can see, it was all hands on deck at the workshop that day, and it was a hive of activity. Once the sides were up, it was a case of fixing the roof panels in place and making sure we had a structure which was watertight. As you can imagine, this was a pretty important step. Even though it was summertime, we can always count on some trusty west of Scotland precipitation. Thanks for making it to the end of episode 2 of the Build Journey series. Join us in episode 3, where we get the external larch cladding and the interior birch ply wall finishes on. The sliding doors arrive, all the electrics are installed, the bathroom and kitchen arrive, and Daniel and I make an attempt at building a bed. Now, that's something you don't want to miss. Cheers.